now we are back and you are on 5.3K. You've already written it across here. We're at the top of this, okay? So at the very top of your paper, I would like you to write, and again, I'm going to write in the same color that I wrote across the bottom, but you are more than welcome to write in pencil or marker, however you want to do that, as long as it's neat and you can read it. So don't write in big fat markers that you can't read, okay? So across the top, I want you to write adding and subtracting, and we're going to kind of focus on decimals. But y'all know how to add and subtract regular numbers. I just want to make sure that we're clear on the decimals. So adding and subtracting. Up at the top, adding and subtracting. Decimal numbers. Okay. So I want to go through here and we're going to put some squares, some steps, and then solve a few. So for example, step 1 is going to line up decimals vertically. So write line up decimals vertically. And I am just going to put a box around my steps, just to keep it nice and neat. And then I'm going to put an arrow over here to go to step 2. That's a little bit blurry. Can we see that? Okay, so let's say we are taking the number 7.12, so 7.12, and we are adding 4.259. So I need to line up my digits by the decimal. Okay, so my next step, step 2, is going to be add any zeros to the right if needed. So step 2, add any zeros to the right if needed. I don't know why that keeps getting blurry. So add any zeros to the right if needed. And again, I am going to box that just to keep it nice and neat. And then put a little arrow to the next step. So what I mean by that, let's say I take that 7.12, 4.259. Where is it that I have to put a 0? Absolutely. And I'm going to use a different color, a light color, just to show that I'm adding that 0 in. So I need to add that 0 right there behind that 2 because that's an empty spot. Okay. Step 3 is I need to begin in the lowest place value and begin adding or subtracting from right to left. So begin in the lowest place value and add or subtract. And I'm just going to use the symbols add or subtract. And we are going right to left. Okay? Opposite of how you read. Right to left. I am still going to box that. Put an arrow to my next step. So the way that would look is I have that 7.12. I added that 0. 4.259. Let me put that 0 back in with my yellow. And then I've got to start in the lowest place value, which would be over here. So on the right. So 9 plus 0. And this is, I'm going to start adding. So 9. 5 plus 2 is 7. 2 plus 1 is 3. 7 plus 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. My next step, step 4, is going to be bring the decimal down. Bring down the decimal. And again, I'm going to put an arrow to my next step. And then step 5, so I need to work that. So 7.12, 4.259. I am adding those. I have my 0 in here. I already added them up. It gave me 9 and 7 and 3 and 11. And then I'm going to drop down that decimal. That's why you must have your decimals lined up to add or subtract. And then step 5 is going to be check to see if your answer is reasonable. Check to see if your answer is reasonable. You box that. And the way that I do that, well, I know that 7 plus 4, so 7 plus 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 equals 11. So is it reasonable to get 11 point something? Yes, that's reasonable. Okay, go back down to this part right here. And then I want you to get that other half of that sheet of paper that you cut a little bit ago, and you now have 2 questions on it. I want you to cut those 2 questions nice and small and neat. And then we are going to work through those on the video before you go to your try it for this tea. So cut those out nice and neat. We're going to have to see how we can get these to fit in our foldable. So this is my first question. This is my second question. I don't think they'll fit like this like the other ones did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them like this, and then we're just going to do our work on here and then here. Okay? So you're going to have to put them just like this. And I am going to make sure that these questions are clear. So let me zoom in just a second and see if we can get a better picture. Okay, so we're going to have to work them like this. All right, I'm going to read this problem to you, and you have it in front of you. It says, Marsha bought a birthday card for $2.86 and a pen for $1.57. So I'm going to circle those. She paid with a $20 bill. How much change should she have received? All right, so if I rip this problem, I'm wanting to know how much change she's going to get. How much change? So that's kind of like how much is left out of that $20 that you spend. Okay? Important information is that I spent, or I bought, the same thing as bought is to spend. I bought $2.86 worth of a notebook, $1.57, and I had a $20 bill. Okay, so to solve this, I'm going to have to add up what I'm going to buy, and then I'm going to need to subtract it from my money to find out the change. Okay, so to do that, so here I'm going to take $2.86, and I'm going to add it to $1.57. And again, I must line up my decimals. So 6 plus 7 is 13. Put the 3, carry the 1. 8 plus 5, 8 plus 5 is 13. 14. Put the 4, carry the 1. 2 plus 1 is 2, 3, and then 4. And then, just like my step set up there, I'm going to add in my decimal, 443. And then I'm going to say, is that reasonable? Well, if I have almost $3 plus $1, $4 and something's pretty reasonable. Now I need to find out, this is adding, but this does not answer my question because I've got to figure out the change. This is how much I spent. This is not my change. So now I've got to take the $20, and it looks like this, and subtract that 443. Here's the problem that I'm going to run into. $20, I don't see a decimal. So if I do not see the decimal, it goes at the end. So $20 like this. Then I line up my decimals to subtract correctly. I can't take 3, so I've got to come all the way over here to borrow. So this becomes a 1, the 9, and then 10. So 10 minus 3 is 7. 9 minus 4 is going to give me 5. 9 minus 4 is 5. And 1 minus nothing is 1. My decimal drops down. So my change is $15.57, which is up here is A. Okay, I could also check that by taking $15.57, adding the $4.43 to it, and it better give me back $20. Okay, very good. Let's look at this question. Let me zoom in just a little bit to make it a little clearer. The table shows the population of 3 Texas counties. The population of Gray County is missing, so we're missing this number. The population of Gray County is 35,553 less than Anderson County. So this one is this amount less than Anderson. Then the question says, what is the combined population of the 4? So I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to, on this space that I have right here, I'm going to make a little squiggly line and put an arrow up to that problem. And then that way I can use this section for my rips and then do some work over there. Okay. So if I rip this problem, the question is asking me, what is the combined population? Combined means total, right? What is the combined pop for population? I'm not going to write that all the way out. Important information is that Gray County, I don't know that, but I do know Anderson, and I'm going to just put an A. Anderson is 58,308. Dallas is 2,416,014. Brazos is 197,632. And Gray is Anderson minus 35,553. So Gray equals whatever Anderson is minus that 35,553. Okay, to solve this, I've got to take and I've got to do some subtraction. And I know this because I just said Anderson minus this will give you Gray. Then to combine them, I'm going to need to add. So let's start with that. So Anderson is 58,308. I don't have a decimal, so I know the decimal is going to go here in the end. Okay. And if I subtract, because less than means I'm going to subtract it, right? the 35,553. If I subtract that, well, 8 minus 3 is 5. I can't take 5 from 0, so I got to go to my neighbor right here and borrow. This becomes 2. This becomes 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. Can't take 5 from 2, so I borrow from my friend. That's 7 there, and that's 12. 12 minus 5 would give me 7. Bring down my comma. 7 take away the 5 will give me 2, and 5 minus the 3 will give me 2. So now I can actually come up here. This gives me gray. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and write in that gray is 22,755. Now I'm going to combine them. To combine them, I'm going to add them up. So right here, I have some good space. I'm going to line them up. So, and I have got to line them up by place value, which means there's a decimal at all the end of those numbers. So that's how I'm going to line them up. So, to kind of help me keep in track, I can write lines. I can use place value lines. So if this is my decimal for each of those numbers, and there's 4 of them, right? And then I say, okay, this is my, so 58,000, 308. Then I have 2,416,014. Then I have 197, 632. Then I have 22,755. I'm going to simply add those up. Again, if you don't see a decimal goes at the end. That's how you know that you're lining them up correctly. I don't need to put zeros there because they all have the 0. So let's just start adding. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Put the 9, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. Put the 0, carry the 1. 3, 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 plus 7 is 17. Put the 7, carry the 1. 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Carry the 2. 7, 8. 8 plus 9 is going to give me, what, 17, 18, 19. Put the 9, carry the 1. 4 plus 1, 4, 5, 6. And then my 2 comes down. So I have a comma there and a comma there. So my answer is 2,694,709, which is my answer is F. Okay. So glue those in. And then now you are going to try it for 5.3K. And again, those are in the red or green folder. You'll look on the board. It'll tell you what teak is in which folder. And that is on the folder, in the folder on the table next to the wall, kind of by the turn-in tray. Okay, on the table. All right,